In this video, I'll be playing through episode 2 of Interrogation You Will Be Deceived, illustrating how you can get a confession and win the episode, hopefully without having to resort to any enhanced interrogation techniques. This is intended to help you if you're stuck, but I strongly suggest you stop the video once you feel you have what you need to finish the conversational puzzle on your own, so that you don't ruin your experience of the game. There are many ways to finish an episode, and I will only be showing you one of them, so try to get back in the game and discover your own. Let's look at the case before us. In the second episode, we've identified through Peterson's tip from the last episode that the Liberation Front, a very suspect group, is using a server dedicated to a pet care, allegedly, and they're hiding in this pet care chat room a secret chat room that they're using to conduct their operations. All we have is an ID of someone who had access to this secret chat room, HornBunny49, and using IP tracking, we've identified 3 people that had access to the pet care chat room, and we have to assume that one of them is HornBunny49 and has this password. So let's see who our 3 suspects are. First of all, we have Diana O'Donnell. She's an alternative model. She's been doing modeling work, occasional acting, and she hosts a blog that regularly critiques modern lifestyle trends. Okay, so she might be on a million chat rooms just talking to people, getting their vibe so that she has something to post on her blog about, or she might have very extremist views. Secondly, we have Michael Lemon. He works as a pet stylist, and he's an aficionado of the city's underground theater scene and a card-carrying member of the Democracy Party. So he's a very political person with alternative views. Lastly, we have Fred Ennis. Fred Ennis works as a risk analyst for a major bank. He's twice divorced. He practices airsoft and plays tennis. That's all we know about him. We don't have much information on any of these people, but we do know that none of them had any sort of criminal track record, and all of them allegedly have some reason, some justifiable reason to be on the pet care chat room. So our strategy will be to either intimidate or try to raise their empathy with us enough so that they slowly open up and tell us about the Liberation Front. So let's bring them in. You will notice that this is a timed episode. We only have 7 minutes to finish this because otherwise the passwords reset, and whatever we get from any of these people, if we get anything, we won't be able to use it anyway because the Liberation Front noticed our IP tracking scheme and is scrambling to change the passwords. So let's start. Every question we ask will spend 5 seconds of our timer here, so we have to be very careful and considerate about what we ask. Let's take this step by step. The first thing we want to know is we want to talk about the pet care chat room, and we have to discuss the nicknames, and we want to know, do you know this Horn Bunny? And Diana says she doesn't really know, but that she begins to say something, but that changes her mind, so she might be holding something back. Let's try to see what nickname she uses. She doesn't really want to know. Makes sense, we just dragged her here when we're asking her creepy questions about the pet care chat room online. Makes sense, she's holding back. Without going back or anything, let's switch to Michael Lemon over here and go into the same conversation talking about nicknames. Does he know who Horn Bunny is? He says that he's seen them about, but he doesn't know them. Maybe we can tell us what nickname you use? He says he doesn't remember, but it's clear he's also avoiding the conversation. Okay, let's do the same with Fred. Let's talk about the pet care chat room, talk about the nicknames, ask him what nickname did he use in the chat room. He's the only one that tells us. He tells us it's Cat Lover 5. Okay, so finally we have someone that's willing to talk with us. Does he know who HornBunny49 is? And he says quite stiffly that he's never seen them around. No. Now we have an option to maybe try to intimidate him to raise our fear, his fear of us, or try to raise his empathy with us. I will try to raise his fear with us in this playthrough, so I'm gonna threaten him that if he lies to me one more time, things will get very rough. I have no intention of roughening him up, but he doesn't know that. So he pulls back slightly in their chair, but he says that he doesn't know what I'm talking about. Okay, but his fear of me has raised a bit. Let's move back to to talk with these other people because Fred Ennis told us that his nickname is Cat Lover 5. Let's see if someone else knows about Cat Lover 5. Sure enough, here's the option. So Michael Lemon over here says he knows the chat room pretty well, but he's pretty sure he never saw anyone with that handle. How about Diana? Does she know Cat Lover 5? She doesn't think so. So let's move back to Fred. So Fred, what nickname did you say you use? It's Cat Lover 5, okay? So you claim you don't know who this Horn Bunny 49 is. He shakes his head since he doesn't know. We should stop pestering, but here we have a new option that has unlocked. We know there's no Cat Lover 5 because we've asked 2 other people that never know, that are quite present on that chat room and they've never heard of Cat Lover 5. So we can confront him with that. And Fred cracks up. He admits, right, he's Horn Bunny 49. Keep in mind, it's not illegal to be Horn Bunny 49. So the fact that he's scared and he looks shocked and troubled, that's interesting, right? But we can't arrest him for anything. So let's try to continue our conversation. Let's see, why wasn't he upfront? He just didn't think it mattered because it's private information. Okay, fair enough. Let's see if he's willing to open up about the special room. He says he doesn't know anything about the special room, so it's clear at this point we either have to raise his fear so that he breaks and cracks and tells us about it, or raise his empathy. Since we've used fear up to this point, I'm going to stick to that strategy. So we're moving back a bit here. See that the timer moved down to 5 minutes and 20 seconds from all the questions we've been asking. And let's move back a bit. Here we have to find some ways to intimidate or raise his empathy, but we're looking to scare Fredline. So let's talk about the Liberation Front. And he says that he sees their points, so he knows about the Liberation Front, right? And he agrees with some of their points. He looks away, so he might be a bit ashamed to talk about this. Okay, we're trying to scare him, so let's be blunt. Let's scare him. We're gonna tell him the last Liberation Front sympathizer we had in here left with broken legs. He is visibly nervous. We're trying to deduce if the Liberation Front is an actual threat, so it's fair enough to ask if we think the Liberation Front is willing to take violent action, and he seems quite shocked by that. He says, no, nothing like that. Okay, let's look, what else can we do? We haven't asked him how he's doing, but how if we do it? He just says he wants his lawyer, right? So his fear is pretty up, it's pretty high at this point. Let's move back about the pet care chat room. Move back here. He admits his Horn Bunny 49, but let's try to push him one last time. Maybe us telling him that we break the legs of Liberation Front sympathizers is enough. And yes, it is. He breaks, he speaks fastly, he says yes, he knows, but so what? It's just a private chat room. And he's right, it's not illegal to be in that sort of place. Let's just double check. He admits, yes, he does. Okay, let's move back through the conversation, and now we have a new option. Since we know he has access to the special room, we can try to find out more about what's going on in there. Who has access? We know Daryl Peterson didn't have access, so this is a way to check if he's lying to us. And he tells us that they didn't use real names. He might have, for all he knows. Okay, so I think he's telling the truth about this one. Is the special room a meeting for the Liberation Front? This is to confirm our theory, and yes, he confirms it. He says that yes, it is, but again, that's not something we can put him in jail. He says we have no proof. So him telling us that we have no proof makes me think that he believes he is actually guilty of something, because else what could we have proof of, right? So why the need for such privacy? He seems very uncomfortable. He doesn't think he needs any justification for this. Okay, so at this point, I think we got Fred pretty nervous. Just a regular guy. He's a risk analyst. He just might be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So what's the special? What's the password? And he says he swore not to give it. Well, we've been scaring him all this time. It's trying to press him one last time, and he cracks. He says it's just a chat room. He'll give us the password, and he confesses. And that's the end of the episode. Thank you very much for watching.